Get tubeless, they said. It's better, they said. Boy, I just talked for 10 minutes without recording. Behind me is a 2021 Giant TCR. Hold on, you can't see it because I'm being a camera snob right now. 2021 Giant TCR, an amazing bike, one of my favorite bikes that I have. I only have a couple of bikes, so it's easy to have just your favorite bikes. An amazing bike. I have not ridden it in a very long time. The reason for that is that it does have a set of tubeless tires on it. So what we're gonna do today is actually take the wheels off, take the tires off, clean off the inside, any of the sealant that may have been dried out. I don't know why I said it like that. Clean off any of the sealant that may have been dried out, and also, not sure if I'm going to keep this tubeless. I may put tubes in there, but we'll see. I might keep it tubeless, I don't know. See how it looks. So I actually think I'm just gonna leave the bike on this stand and take it off. I will have to, however, take the rear off. So what I'm gonna do is shift into the smallest cog. Don't you just love that sound? Just to keep it simple, let's go ahead and just use this Delta rack that I have in my apartment as a make-believe bike stand. Put the through axle back there so that we don't lose it. I always put the through axle back in the bike so that I don't lose it. Actually, I should have turned the bike the other way since the drivetrain's on the inside, but we're here now. We'll work with what we've got. A lot easier than I expected. See? Tires have been sitting for a long time. There's no air in them. Through axle back in. Cool. Makeshift bike stand. Love it. All right, shell shock in the kitchen. I don't have a garage. We're not gonna go do this on the street. So the only thing that I've really got is a tiled floor in the kitchen. Got to make do when you're in an apartment, but no big deal. I've done this a couple times already. It's super easy to clean the tiled floor. Wouldn't want to do this on the hardwood that we were just on. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what we're dealing with. Valve pours off. That's not very promising, is it? We'll just go around. Do you hear that bead break? Gotta break the other side. This is the worst thing about tubeless, by the way. As I slam my disc rotor into the cap, that's gonna make a noise. All right, so this is what we're working with. Eesh. Check that out. This is not fun. There was only a little bit of sealant in there. This is by far the worst part of sealant. Tubeless sealant? Tubeless? I don't even know. Get tubeless, they said. It's better, they said. Only have to do this like 2 or 3 times a year. Let's go ahead and... Great. Crap's getting all over the floor already. We're gonna clean the rim first just because it's easier, and it's easier to do the easier thing first sometimes just to get some momentum. Right, wheels cleaned up. Now let's take a look at the tires. This tire is, geez, this is a dirty job. This is like peeling off snakeskin. Wow. I guess I'm just gonna turn the tire inside out. Don't really know if that's good, if that's bad. I don't know if I think I'm gonna throw tubes in, honestly. This is not a pleasant experience. This is I'd rather play with disc brakes, like drain the fluid and refill the fluid on disc brakes. I've done that before. It's not as dirty. You know, well, anything could be dirty, but it's just not as, this is kind of crazy right now. Good thing is this stuff just kind of cleans right off the floor, cleans right off your, it'll dry and then it'll turn into this weird stuff. So not really super toxic. Don't go drinking it. Don't go getting it in your eye. I'm throwing tubalitos in this bike, in these wheels. This is gonna take me forever to clean. God, look at all this. Wow, it's all dried. I mean, I guess if you're riding your bike a lot, not letting it sit all winter, then it wouldn't dry, but it gets to the point where you have to, you know, spend more time thinking about the maintenance than you can just enjoying the bike itself. And I like Tubeless, you know, never had a puncture on Tubeless. Well, I actually have had a couple of punctures, but never had to stop a ride and throw a tube in. I have had to stop a ride and put the and pump up air in a tubeless setup, but I've never had to take the wheel off the frame. You know, so it's very convenient when you're out riding. Not so convenient when you're doing this after a winter of not riding. Good thing I'm doing this before cleaning the kitchen floor. I had to do that too. All right, I made a decision. Instead of sitting here and taking forever to clean these tires off, this is gonna take like close to an hour. I do have a whole bunch of other Schwalbe Pro 1s. I bought a couple, remember back in 2020 when we had a whole bunch of supply chain issues, we had a whole bunch of shortages, stuff like that. I did stock up on these, and so I do have a whole bunch of these. Also nowadays we have so many more options as far as tubeless, hookless tires, since these unfortunately are hookless. I'm not a huge fan of hookless either. I don't think they're as bad as people think they are lately, but I prefer a regular hooked version of a wheel. But since I do have some extra tires and these are getting pretty worn, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the new ones on. Be nice to have some new rubber at the beginning of the season. These are also in a size 28, which I do prefer 28 for riding on the road. 30, 32 is better if you're gonna do a mix of road and light gravel. I've even done heavy gravel on 30s, 30 millimeters that is. It was pretty good till I almost fell. But you could definitely do it, but I think 28s, if you're just sticking to the road, 28s are my absolute favorite. I find that the 32s, the 30, not so much the 30s, 32s are a little bit too slow. Don't believe the industry. The industry wants to just sell you more stuff, sell you more crap. The valve stem off. I will say I like Tubeless as far as being able to run lower pressures, and as far as, why else do I like Tubeless? As far as virtually puncture proof, but I'm testing out, I don't know where I put it, I'm testing out the Tubelitos, and unless I'm getting flats, punctures all the time on Tubelitos, I think it's overall a better option. Less ongoing maintenance. Maybe I will go back to tubeless at some point. Even get this off. Just trying tube setup, seeing if it's easier for me. Maybe a bit more practical for where I am in my cycling journey. Of course, the industry will tell you that you know, you need tubeless, and tubeless is good. I don't think you necessarily need it though. This is not coming out very easily, is it? I gotta get more tools. Now, I just thought of this. Another benefit of riding a non-tubed version, just the classic tubes, is you want to change your tires? Super easy. Take the tire off, put a new tire on. So easy. You don't have to worry. You don't have to do this stuff all the time. You know, check your sealant levels. It's just so much easier. So it's, you know, yeah, tubeless maybe a tiny bit faster. Puncture, a little bit more puncture proof, but like I said, I'm testing these out. I have some pretty good experiences with these so far. So I definitely think that these are going to be a good option. And let's say I don't like the 28s and I want to go back to the 30s. No problem, just change them. Super easy. Throw on gravel tires in the same wheel set, super easy. You don't need to have an extra wheel set. You can keep the same wheel set for everything. Let's go ahead and get this nice, shiny new tire on, and we should have it facing the right way. So where is the valve stem? I always thought it was a vanity thing to line up the logo with the valve stem. Now I know it's actually pretty practical. You know, that way when you when you want to put air in your tires, it's actually a little easier. You can just look for it, and there you go. Beautiful. I love it when a tire goes on really easily. I can't stand when it's like super hard to put a tire on. Just big enough, huh? Might need an extender on this. It's these deep section wheels. I think we need an extender. I gotta go get an extender. I got these extenders. Got these extenders from Envy. Jeez, I'm glad that I never had to. I keep spare Tubelitos with me all the time. I didn't realize that I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't have an extender with me, and I typically don't carry extenders with me, so I've been riding around with no spares, no compatible spares for a long time now. All right, we need to put this in straight. These are plastic, so you just got to be careful. There we go. Check that out. Now, one thing is I can't pump these up. I can't pump these up past 70 psi because of the whole hookless silliness. Whatever. But I usually like to go around 60 psi anyway. Like I said, any issues, just throw the tubeless setup back in. All right, there we go. Let's see if it works. Put the valve stem in. And let's go ahead and pump it up. It's working. Right, we can't go above 70. So I'm going to leave these at 60, and I'm going to see how they feel. So there you go. Tubeless setup, converted back to tubes, Tubelito inner tubes. Hopefully I don't get a whole bunch of flats, and I don't have to pull over constantly. But in life, everything is a balance. So we'll see. These Tubelito inner tubes are supposed to be pretty puncture resistant. But anyway, I got to do the same thing for the rear tire, and I got to get rid of this tire because it's all nasty and worn out. All right, we got the Tubelito inner tube in there. There is officially no more tubeless setup on this bike. This took a long time. That was one of the least favorite things probably the worst maintenance thing I've had to do. Like I said, I'd rather deal with playing with the hydraulics and the disc brakes than I would playing with that stuff again. Now let's go ahead and put the rear wheel in. That was also a lot harder. So let's see. Unless I get punctures like crazy on this bike, I'm talking like once a week, even once a month, I'm keeping the tubes on. No more tubeless for me. It's just not worth the hassle for where I am and my cycling journey. Now, obviously, if you're a professional or you're riding 200 miles a week and you have a garage, maybe you even bring this to a local bike shop and they can do this work for you, then yeah, it does make a lot of sense. There are a lot of benefits for tubeless, and I am a big fan of tubeless. However, for me, I don't have a garage, I don't have a house, I've got a small apartment in the city, and all I have is a tiny kitchen you saw before and just a very small space to work with. The maintenance upkeep for tubeless is just going to be not worth it for me. Only way it's going to be worth it is if I get tons and tons and tons of punctures on these. But since this bike sits on the rack for 6 months out of the year, I don't need to be worried about having the tubeless stuff just get all dried and then cleaning it up and then just making a mess in the kitchen. So tubeless or tubed, either way, definitely works. Definitely check out Tubelito inner tubes. I have them linked below in the description if you want to check them out. Don't let anybody tell you what you should or shouldn't do. The industry loves pushing things. The bike industry, cycling industry that is, loves pushing us things that just end up costing more money. But at the end of the day, you got to make your own decision and experiment and figure out what's right for you. Thanks for watching.